Even in your silence, I still see you. Even when your lips say nothing, your heart screams and I hear it. I hear the tremble in your soul, the ache you don't know how to name. You feel lost. You've tried to pray, but the words feel empty. You've tried to hope, but the darkness feels too thick. You smile on the outside, but inside you're drifting, wandering, fading. And yet even now I see you. I haven't turned my face away. I haven't forgotten you. You, my beloved, are not invisible to me. I know this world has tried to crush your faith. I know how much you've carried, how long you've waited, how many nights you've laid awake asking, "Where are you, God?" I was there, in the silence, in the tears, in the shaking of your hands and the stillness of your voice. You were not alone. Not for a second. You may not feel me right now, but feelings are not truth. My presence is. And my presence is not a reward for your strength. It's a promise in your weakness. When you're lost, you don't need a loud voice. You don't need thunder. You need a whisper, a holy whisper. And that's what I am. Right here, right now, my child. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't need the full map. Just one step. And I will guide it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to come close. Let me be your compass. Let me be the voice that calms your storm. Let me remind you that your faith, though shaken, is still holy in my eyes. I am not far. I'm closer than your next breath. Even now, I am guiding your next step. There are moments when you stand at a crossroads, unsure which way to turn. You don't know if you should go forward or stop altogether. You try to pray, but all you hear is silence. You ask for a sign, but everything feels unclear. And deep inside, the question rises, God, are you still listening? I am. I always am. You don't need to say much for me to understand. Just a sigh, and I know the depth of your heart. And in the very moments you feel furthest from me, that's when I draw closest to you. I know you're tired. I know your faith is shaking. But I'm not angry. I haven't walked away. I am your father, not because you're strong, but because I am loved, unchanging, unshakable. You don't have to find your way to me, because I am already walking toward you, whispering, gently, not rushing. Just so you'll know, you are not alone. Do not be afraid. I know the way, and I will lead you, one quiet step at a time. Starting right now, I see you. Even in the darkest night, when no one else knows what you're feeling, I do. When you curl up in silence, trying to hold your world together without falling apart, I'm there. I see the way you carry burdens too heavy for your soul. I see the brave smile you wear in front of others while your heart trembles when no one's watching. You've been taught to be strong, to hold it together, to keep pushing through, and you've done that so well. But I see through the mask. I see the silent tears that fall into your pillow, the breath you hold when fear rushes in, the numbness you try to explain but can't. I see you, not as the world sees you, but as you truly are. And I want you to know something holy. I am not repelled by your darkness. I am not afraid of your fear. I am not disappointed by your exhaustion. My love isn't given to the version of you that pretends. My love is drawn to the real you, the broken you, the questioning you, the tired you, the one who doesn't even know what to pray anymore. You are not lost to me, even when you feel invisible to others, even when you've convinced yourself that no one would understand. I do. I understand the thoughts that chase you late at night, the whispers of shame, the memories that haunt, the regrets that won't let go. I know the lies you've been told and the lies you've told yourself. I know the weight of not feeling good enough, the pressure to be more, do more, to prove more. Prove. And yet, my child, none of those things define you to me. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are not your pain. To me, you are seen, fully, tenderly, eternally. I saw you when you were formed in the secret place. I saw your first breath. I saw the first tear you ever cried. And I have seen every tear since. Every moment of your life matters to me. You matter to me. When you hide in the darkness, I'm still there. When you pull away, I remain. When you can't feel me, I haven't moved. I know the dark can feel suffocating, I know how small and helpless you feel when hope seems out of reach. But even the deepest night cannot hide you from me. My light reaches there. My arms reach there. My love reaches even deeper than the fear that surrounds you. I'm not waiting for you to fix yourself. I'm not asking you to find your way back to me because I never left. I have been with you in every moment you thought you were alone. I was there in the silence. I was there in the heartbreak. I was there when the words of others cut deep. I was there when you wanted to give up. I was there when you kept going, even though you didn't know how. And I am here now, right now, not because you've done something to earn my presence, but because I promised I would never forsake you. I want you to know your darkness is not your destiny. It's a place, not the end. And I am already guiding you out of it. One breath at a time, one whisper at a time, one gentle step forward. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. Let me carry what you cannot. Let me sit with you in the silence. Let me remind you that you are not alone, not for a single heartbeat. Even when the world forgets, I remember. Even when others don't see, I do. I see you in the dark, and I love you there. You are mine, forever. You've asked quietly, maybe even without words, God, where did you go? And that question has lingered like smoke in your chest. Not angry, always searching. You didn't want to accuse me. You just wanted to understand why I felt so far, when your need was so near. But hear this, hear me. I never left. You may not have seen me in the way you hoped. You may not have heard me the way you once did. You may have looked at your pain and assumed I turned away. But, child, I have never turned my back on you. Not once. When the prayers became sighs, when the joy dried up, when the silence felt unbearable, I stayed. I was the steady breath when yours faltered. I was the warmth beneath your tears. I was the quiet in your chaos. I was the presence that didn't need words. I was the whisper behind your resilience. You thought it was your strength, but it was me sustaining you. I've never measured my nearness by your feelings. I've never based my loyalty on your consistency. I don't love you because you hold on. I love you because you are mine. When others walked away, I remained. When the doors closed, I stood at your side. When the world demanded answers, I offered my peace instead. And when you turned from me, not because you stopped loving me, but because your pain got louder than your hope, I didn't take it personally. I understood. Because I know your heart. I know the ache that wore down your faith. And I know what it cost you to keep going. I stayed anyway. Not as a spectator, not as a judge, but as your father. I saw the silent prayers you whispered in the car. I saw the way you stared at the ceiling at 3 a.m. trying to find peace. I saw the days you couldn't lift your Bible but still called my name in weakness. None of it was wasted. You thought, maybe God's waiting for me to come back. But I was never gone. I was in the hospital room, in the therapy session, in the courtroom, in the funeral, in the messy kitchen, the locked bathroom, the traffic jam where your soul screamed. I was in the pause between heartbeats when everything felt like too much. I was there, fully, faithfully. I was the strength behind the just one more step. I was the courage to get out of bed. I was the forgiveness you didn't think you deserved. I was the mercy that met you before shame could speak. You never had to earn my presence. It's not a reward. It's a promise. My promise. I don't leave. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. And forever includes your lowest valley. Forever includes the season when you questioned everything. Forever includes the days you failed and the days you forgot how to pray. Even then, I was holding you. Do you remember that time you almost gave up and something stopped you? That was me. Do you remember that conversation that felt like light cracking through the darkness? That was me. Do you remember how somehow you made it through what you thought would destroy you? That was me, child. I didn't need you to have all the answers. I only needed your heart, even if it was in pieces. I sat with you in the silence, not rushing to fix, just remaining. Because that's who I am. Not the God of escape, but the God of endurance. Not the God of condition, but of covenant. And my covenant is this: I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I will be with you always, even to the end of the age. You don't have to come back to me because I'm already here. Closer than breath, truer than feelings, stronger than what broke you. So let go of the shame that says you're too far gone. Let go of the fear that says I've stopped caring. Let go of the lie that says your silence pushed me away. You were never alone, not even for a second. Not even in the moment you thought I had turned my face. My face was never turned from you, only toward you. Always toward you, because I don't just visit pain. I dwell in it with those I love. I wept with you. I grieved with you. I held you long before you asked, and I'm still holding you now. This is who I am, the God who stays, the shepherd who searches, the friend who draws near, the father who runs when he sees his child in the distance. So when you wonder, where was God in all of this? I was right beside you. When you didn't recognize me, I stayed. When you didn't feel me, I held on. When you tried to walk away, I walked with you. Because love, real love, doesn't give up. And I am love. You don't have to come find me. You just have to be still. And you'll realize I never left. You're looking for thunder, for a sign, for something loud and unmistakable. Because you think that's what guidance looks like. Something strong enough to shake your fear. Something powerful enough to drown your doubt. But child, I don't always lead through storms. Sometimes I lead through whispers. Because I don't want to overwhelm you, I want to walk with you. You expect me to shout your next step. To flash lightning across the sky with direction. To part every sea in your path. But what if the way I'm leading you is softer? What if I'm not trying to impress you, but invite you? I lead through peace, through stillness, through the quiet nudge in your spirit that you keep ignoring. The one that feels small but won't go away. You call it a feeling. You call it a hunch. But it's me. It's my whisper. The whisper that tells you when to wait, when to go, when to forgive, when to rest, when to speak life and when to stay silent. You think you need clarity. But I'm offering you communion. You think you need a map, but I'm offering you my hand, because direction from me is not a formula. It's a relationship, and relationships grow in whispers. The world is loud. Fear is loud. Doubt is loud. But I am not in the noise. I am in the still, small voice. The same way I spoke to Elijah. Not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in the whisper. Because a whisper means I'm close. So close I don't have to raise my voice. And I am close to you. You don't have to chase me down. You just have to pause. Be still. And you'll hear me. Maybe not with your ears, but with your heart. That little spark of peace that doesn't make sense. That conviction that presses gently but firmly. That holy discomfort that says this isn't your way anymore. That burst of courage that shows up right when you need it. That's how I lead you. Not with control, but with care. Not with pressure, but with presence. I don't give you the whole path because I'm not trying to make you independent. I want you dependent on me, not because I need control, but because I know what's ahead, and I want you safe. I want you whole. So I lead step by step, one prompting at a time, one moment of surrender at a time. When you ask me, Lord, what's next? I won't always give you the destination, but I will always give you a direction, and I'll whisper it so you'll stay close. Sometimes I say, trust me. Sometimes I say, let it go. Sometimes I say, call that person. Sometimes I just say, rest. And in the obedience to the whisper, the way becomes clear. You think you're waiting on me, but often I'm waiting on you, waiting for you to quiet the noise, to shut out the fear, to come away and sit with me, not for answers, but for presence. And when you do, you'll start to hear again, not because I started speaking, but because you started listening. My whisper isn't weak, it's deliberate. It's how creation began with a word. It's how healing flows with a breath. It's how hearts are restored with a whisper of grace. So stop looking for the lightning and listen for me in the silence. Let my whisper be your compass. Let my peace be your confirmation. Let my nearness be the reason you move, not fear, not pressure, not insecurity. Because when I whisper, I'm not just leading your path. I'm anchoring your soul, rooting your steps in something eternal. Not the noise of this world, not the pressure of culture, but the voice of your Creator. So come close, child. Draw near, and I will draw nearer still. Let me guide you, not with force, but with faithfulness. I am not far, and you're not too broken to hear me. You just need to be still, to breathe, to open your heart again. And in that sacred stillness, you'll hear it, the whisper that leads you home, the whisper that says, "This is the way, walk in it." You keep asking me for the full picture. You want to know where the road leads. You want to see how it all works out before you move. But that's not how I lead, my child. I don't give you the whole journey. I give you the next step, because the next step is enough, and it's not far. You're not as lost as you think. You're not as behind as it feels. You haven't missed your chance. You're not disqualified. What you need next is already within reach. You just need to trust me for that one next step. I know you want clarity, but I offer something better, trust, because trust anchors you when clarity fails. Trust holds your hand when vision blurs. Trust walks you forward even when the path is foggy. You don't need to leap 1,000 miles. You don't need to rebuild everything in a day. You don't have to fix the whole story. Just take the step I've placed before you. Maybe that step is forgiveness. Maybe it's letting go of something that's already gone. Maybe it's resting when your instinct says fight. Maybe it's speaking when you'd rather stay silent. Maybe it's returning to me not with a perfect prayer, but with your heart cracked open. Maybe it's simply choosing hope, just for today. You think movement means momentum, but in my kingdom, obedience is momentum. And a small obedient step has more power than a giant leap born of fear, because when you step with me even 1 inch, it shifts eternity. The next step isn't about knowing. It's about listening. It's about being still enough to hear me say, "This is it. This is where you begin again." And when I say that, you can trust it's not too late. You're not too broken. The story isn't over. I still write beauty from ashes. Child, the enemy wants you stuck, overthinking, overanalyzing, trying to see the whole staircase when all I'm asking for is the next rung. You've waited long enough. You've circled the same fear long enough. You've rehearsed the same regret long enough. Now it's time. Time to step. Time to believe again. Time to let go of needing to know how and lean into who. You don't walk alone. Every step you take, I'm already ahead of you. Every place you enter, I've already prepared it. Every fear that rises, I've already overcome. You think the next step will break you, but what if it's the step that frees you? You think it's too small to matter. But what if it's the one that leads to everything changing? I know it feels risky, but what if obedience isn't risk? What if it's rescue? You want peace before you move, but peace doesn't always come before the step. Sometimes peace comes because of the step, and I am your peace. So trust me with this. You don't have to understand it. You just have to obey it. You don't have to map it out. You just have to walk it out, one faithful yes at a time. And if you fall, I'll catch you. If you stumble, I'll steady you. If you get weary, I'll carry you. Because this step isn't taken in your strength. It's taken in mine. And the next one, I'll be there too. This isn't about rushing forward. It's about walking with me at my pace, in my grace, through my presence. Don't despise small beginnings. Don't dismiss the power of just one step, because one step can lead you out of despair. One step can crack open a new chapter. One step can begin the healing you've prayed for. It won't always feel clear, but it will always be covered. It won't always feel easy, but it will always be sacred. The next step is not far. It's right in front of you. And it's enough. So breathe. Don't worry about the 10 steps after. Don't worry about what happens next month, next year, or in 5. I'm in the now. And I'm whispering, "This way, child. Right here. Right now. Take my hand. Take the step. And I promise, you won't walk it alone, ever. You've come this far, child. Through questions, through silence, through waiting. And still you're here. That matters. You matter. I know this world pulls hard at your soul. I know the noise gets loud. But in the middle of it all, I'm still whispering, you are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not too far gone. I'm still writing your story. still restoring what was broken, still guiding every breath, every tear, every quiet step forward. And I'm not done with you. Not by a long shot. What's ahead is not about how strong you are. It's about how faithful I am. So lean into me again. Don't rush. Don't strive. Just rest. Let my words wrap around you like a soft blanket. Let my presence be your home. And if your heart needs to speak, talk to me. Right here. Right now. Or, if you want, just share a comment below. Tell me where it hurts. Tell me what step you're afraid to take. Tell me what you're hoping for, even if it feels small. I'm listening. I always have been. And this is only the beginning. When you're ready, return to my voice again. There are more whispers waiting for you, each one carrying love, hope, and direction. You'll find them in the rest of this playlist, Whispers from Heaven. And if your spirit is still searching, I've spoken through other playlists too. Each one is a different way I say, I love you, I'm with you, I see you. So come, sit with me again. Let me remind you, you are mine, forever.